Welcome to Movie Chat for December, our last movie chat of the year. I'm going to be chatting about The Thing from 1982, which I realise I had never seen before when I watched it, but I thought I had. Anyway, we'll get into that. Right, I've got some special guests joining us, so let me add. Hi, Sharon. And Ali. And then as soon as I see Emma, I'll add Emma in. Kurt Russell, yes, Georgia. Hi, Mark.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello. Hi, Ali. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hi, Ali.
Hi, Shelley. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Yay!
At least one person this time.
Oh, there's like a weird glitch on Instagram. I just don't know why it's doing it. And Emma, she's lucky if she can see anyone sometimes.
Oh,
I
I
just
mean,
have.
when isn't Instagram glitching? So,
Oh, that's it. Well, here's Emma. Emma. Ooh.
hi,
Hi, Emma.
Emma.
I can
Oh,
see everyone. I can see
you
everyone.
can see me.
I can see you. I can see Annie. I can see Mark.
It's like a Christmas miracle. Poor Ali, I think, can only see me. So,
Oh no, I
Oh,
can see. I can see both of you.
oh, brilliant. Well, we're almost there. That'll do. How are you, Emma? You're looking festive. Was going to put my little reindeer antlers on, but they jingle too much.
oh,
So
do
they're too
That's
noisy
brilliant.
all the time. So, oh yeah, Melania said it's a Christmas miracle, Emma. Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, so yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to be chatting about The Thing from 1982, which I'm hugely excited to chat about. So Josh normally does the movie chats with myself and Emma, but he's really busy today. So Emma and I thought we'd invite two guests on, two brilliant authors. So first up, we've got Mark Stay. So
Hello.
Mark, hello. So Mark is a novelist and screenwriter. His Witches of Woodville series is published by Simon and Schuster, and book 5 in the series was released earlier this year, which is amazing. A 5-book series. Is there going to be any more, Mark?
Not for a while. I'm taking a break, but the fifth book sort of wraps it up at a very, very nice point. So it's
Ah,
yeah. I may come back to it one day, but that's it for the moment. And
oh.
I just published the last book in a fantasy trilogy. So I've been ending series this year. So I'm sort of
Oh, so starting new things for the new year?
back at the foot of the mountain. Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I saw the post that you put up about having done like 42 Comic Cons this year, which
Yeah.
is just
Mhm.
totally amazing. And how have you found that? Because you said it was really good meeting the readers and
Brilliant. I
chatting.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, the thing is, I've the Witches of Woodville. I picture Witches of Woodville as Dad's Army meets Bedknobs and Broomsticks, right? And it's very much a. I used to work in publishing, so it's very much what you call a hand sell book. You know, booksellers sell it. But the first book came out during the second lockdown, so it never quite
Ah.
got that bookshop start. So, and I've tried Facebook ads, Amazon ads, none of that has ever worked. But hand selling it, and I used to be a bookseller, I used to be a sales rep, so I kind of know how to sell books. So I've been doing Comic Cons for years, but I thought 2025, I'm really going to go for it. So from like March onwards, I was doing at least one every weekend, and I
Wow.
loved it. It was brilliant.
Oh.
So it's all those old skills coming back when you're, and Emma will notice, things like just handing people the book, little things like that, and the sales pattern and everything. And I've loved it. I've sold nearly 2,000 books just doing that this year,
Wow. Well
and
done.
just meeting lots of new readers. And I love Comic Cons because they have such a good vibe. They're like a safe space. You can be whoever you want to
Mm,
be, and no one's judging you or anything. And
yeah.
so it's been really, really good. So I'll definitely be doing more of that. Yeah.
Oh, so true. I do love Comic Con. It's so brilliant. And our second guest is the brilliant Ali Russell. So, oh, Rupert! Sorry, I got distracted by
Sorry,
a cat.
Ali.
Sorry, Ali.
We wanted to
I'm
come and
always
say
distracted
hello
by
to
cats.
you.
No worries.
Oh, look. Oh, he's so cute.
He
Oh,
just
that's it
wandered in.
now. Oh, so sweet. Oh, I love him. I love him so much. I love when you put the little post up, Emma, of that he's been really naughty. But I don't believe it because he would never be naughty.
Would you?
No.
Yes, you
Never.
would.
Oh, look at his little face. Oh, I'm going to try and concentrate now.
I'm gonna put him down. Off you go, Ruth.
Oh, so as I was saying, we've got the brilliant Ali Russell with us. Last time we spoke to Ali, it came from The Trees had come out, and you've had like a really, really super busy 2025. So you had
Yeah.
Mystery James Digs Her Own Grave come out, followed by a co-written Wednesday book, which is Book of the Outcasts, I think, a tie-in with the series, and then you've just had Down Came the Spiders published by Scholastic. So super busy, Ali. You
Wow.
need
Yeah,
some
yeah.
rest.
Very, very busy. It's been a lot of fun publishing so much this year, just because people get really excited about books. And I haven't done nearly as many conferences as Mark, but I've done a couple of events, and so that's been really awesome. And yeah, I'm looking forward to writing more in 2027, hopefully.
Yay.
Or
And then
2026. Wait, that's the next year.
do you know what? I didn't even like question it because I keep writing 2026 on everything at the moment. So in my
Yeah.
head, it's already 2026. So tell us a little bit about Down Came the Spiders, Ali. Putting you on the spot here, sorry.
No, that's great. So Down Came the Spiders is about three kids who they go to a yes, big spiders just like that. They go to that looks very legit and real, by the way. They go to a Halloween party at one of their classmates' barns. Their classmate's father is the science teacher at their school, and he's really into arachnids and insects. So they go to the Halloween party at the school. The main character, she's still in that like adolescent phase where she's trying to figure out like does she want to stay like on the kid side of things, or she's watching all her friends grow up around her as they're moving on to like 7th grade. And so she really wants to go trick-or-treating, but she ends up going to this Halloween party because she's also a fan of spiders. So they're like, well, if you come to the party, we'll show you the spider collection. So she goes, but then things get really out of hand because the spiders are not behaving as spiders should. So lots of spiders and Halloween night.
Dum, dum, dum.
Very cool.
I know recently I've put on my, I know this is this is a bit different, but on my watch list recently I've put Arachnophobia because I haven't watched that since the 90s. So that's giving me like all the spidery vibes. Oh,
Yeah.
And Emma, you've been super busy at the bookshop. We missed you last month.
Oh, I miss you guys.
Super busy. Oh, has it been busy for you? You've been like,
yeah, it has. Christmas has been like bedlam as it always is in a bookshop, but we love it. We love seeing all the customers. Yeah, warm, cozy Christmas vibes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So we're going to be, as I mentioned, we're going to be chatting about The Thing. So The Thing is a 1982 American sci-fi horror film directed by John Carpenter. It's based on the 1938 novella called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. And it tells the story of a group of American researchers in Antarctica who encounter the Thing. I won't keep saying it like that, the Thing, all the way through, I promise.
Hey.
The Thing. An extraterrestrial life form that assimilates, then imitates, that's the right word I'm looking for. So it imitates other organisms, and the group is overcome by paranoia and conflict as they learn that they can maybe no longer trust each other because one of them could be the Thing. No, I've got to stop saying it like that now. So John Carpenter has stated that it's one of his personal favourite films of his own, which I think is kind of awesome. I like that you can say, yeah, that's my favourite. Because I guess it's always hard to pick favourites from like your book babies or anything, isn't it? Yeah, difficult. And I love how that the opening title, that really cool effect, is like, I read that it was to create the effect of the title, an animation cell with The Thing written on it was placed behind a smoke-filled fish tank which was covered with a plastic garbage bag, and the bag was ignited, creating the effect of like burning into the screen. Practical effects forever. So perfect. Awesome. So enough of my rambling. So was The Thing a first time watch for you, or have you seen it before? What are your memories from first having watched it, Mark?
Well, as you can tell from my t-shirt, I am of a certain vintage, and
Yeah.
I did. I'm trying to think when I didn't see it in the cinema. Obviously, 1982, I would have been 9, but I probably saw it on TV at far too young an age, which goes for most horror movies. Because my parents would go out and say, "Oh, you're fine, you're sensible, you're fine," or Dad would say something like, "You'll watch this, you'll like it," and I'd be Psycho or something.
Sounds like my man.
Hasn't done me any harm. But over the years, I've watched it on scratchy VHS or whatever. But the DVD. I've been one of those people who bought the DVD, the Blu-ray, and it's just one of those films that's kind of grown with me. And every time I watch it, there's something new that I see, and I just love it. It is. I think it's my favorite. I've not seen all these movies, but I think it's my favorite John Carpenter movie as well. And I just think there's a dynamic to it it's got this lovely balance of humor and horror, which is a big thing for me. So
yeah, I love a good like horror and humor mixed together. It's just chef's kiss, perfect. How about you, Emma? Have you seen it before? What are your memories of first watching it?
I have, but also I was too young also to go to the cinema. I was only like 2 or 3 when it came out, but I did watch it when I was 13, and it was because my boyfriend at the time was into horror as much as I was, but I hadn't seen that, so it was like, you have to watch The Thing, you have to watch Bad Taste. That's obviously a favourite of mine, that's Peter Jackson. But so I watched it when I was 13, but I didn't remember all the special effects all that well. I knew it was gory, and I could remember, that it was quite like going, ugh, so that's gross kind of thing when I was 13. But I couldn't quite remember the storyline of it. Obviously, I knew aliens were involved, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was. So it was lovely to re-watch it with adult eyes, having never watched it since I was 13. It was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. How about you, Ali?
I think I first saw The Thing probably in like the mid 2000s, like, after I graduated college and was getting a little bit more into like sci-fi horror. And like Emma, like I love practical effects. You just explaining how the title card was handled, it just made me realize how lazy we've become with like just computers, like where people had to be more creative with how they developed stuff like that. And like Emma said, with the practical effects, we rewatched it before this, but I always forget how like gross and awful it is. Like, I know that there are practical effects, and I mean awful in like a very good way, because like it all looks so legit and real and nasty. Like, I get grossed out by it. So yeah, it's not a first time watch for me. And I've definitely seen it, since the mid 2000s. It's one that we always put on in January. It's like one of our winter horrors because it's perfect winter horror.
I love that. Oh, that's really cool. Go on, Mark. You go.
I was going to say, a lot of the reason it has that kind of gory effects is it was done by a lot of the practical effects done by a guy called Rob Bottin, who I think was 22 at the time. And I watched in prep for this, I watched sort of a making of thing, and in the making of thing, he's in his 40s, but he's still like, yeah, it was really cool. Then there's blood everywhere, and it was gushing like a fountain in Vegas, So it has that kind of adolescent boy thing of blah, which appealed to me for some reason. Apologies, carry on.
No, honestly. I was just going to say, and you're all going to go, Shelley, I realised when I watched this, I haven't seen it before. Like, I thought I had. Like, when we was talking about what films do, I was like, yeah, let's do The Thing. But I realised I think I've only seen like clips from it. But I was convinced I'd seen it because my nan is very famous on these chats. But my poor nan, bless her, she introduced me to horror very, very young. And I'm sure I was convinced this was one of the films I'd seen, but I think the film I was thinking of in my head was called The Hand with Michael Caine.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's the one my nan used to put on all the time, but I thought it was this one. So it was a surprise. And I think I spent most of it like very many facial expressions.
Big shock.
Because I was expecting a really different film for one, and two, I was like, whoa, what are all these like practical effects? This is so awesome and gross, and like I really don't know what to do with my face while I'm watching it. So I think I spent most of the film like like that most of the time. But yeah, it was interesting when I realised that it wasn't the film I thought I thought it was. I had a fun time, which was good. So, are you a fan of like sci-fi horror then? So, what are some of your favourite sci-fi horror, Emma?
Oh yeah, I love sci-fi horror. Obviously, I'm going to say
Yeah.
the obvious one, which is the Alien franchise.
Which I've been
That,
watching. I've been rewatching and watching
Mm.
new ones I hadn't seen before. So me
yeah.
and Corey, my son, have been enjoying that. It's been really good.
Oh yeah, I did that with my daughter recently. My youngest, she's quite into horror. The other two aren't so much. But she was like, "Can I watch it?" And I was like, "Oh, 15. God, I watched it younger than that. Okay, yeah, that's fine." So yeah, so she loved it. So it was great. She just went through the whole lot, just binged it like.
Oh
But yeah,
wow.
I also obviously I mentioned Bad Taste, which is a great alien budget, low budget Kiwi movie. Um, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I know that's funny sci-fi
Oh.
horror, but that's great. I watched that after The Birds was my first watch, and then I watched that one was my next one when I was 8 years old.
Oh, I love
Terrible.
that.
That's so scary. Predator, obviously. Starship Troopers. It's kind of sci-fi horror
Oh,
comedy.
that's
Very gory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
cool. How about you, Ali? Are you a huge sci-fi fan?
I it's definitely grown on me. I wouldn't say it's my favorite genre, but I have some favorites in it. Like Emma, obviously Alien. And again, that was one I didn't watch till like the mid 2000s when I was in my 20s because I always thought it was just sci-fi. And then I
Oh,
watched it for the first time and I was like, this is terrifying. Like this is so scary. So I really like the Alien, the first Alien movie. I like the new Alien Romulus that just came out. I'm also a big fan of the movie Pandorum. I think the main actor's name is Ben Foster. I think that's his name.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Ben
and
Foster.
that one is like trapped in like a spaceship somewhere, you know, and he wakes up from hypersleep and things have gone like horribly wrong around him. So I'm a big fan of that one. I anything I don't think this counts as like I don't know if it counts as sci-fi horror, but also like apocalypse alien stuff. I'm very into. So
Yeah. Oh, I love
yeah, yeah.
that.
and
Uh,
Prey. Sorry, Prey. I have to mention Prey
oh,
because like Prey
Oh,
was so
Prey.
Prey.
fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
How about you, Mark?
I mean, look at me. Of course. You know, Alien, Alien, obviously, the 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the Philip Kaufman one I really love. Event Horizon, the Paul W.S. Anderson one is great.
Yeah.
Terminator. I rewatched The Fly
Yeah.
recently, which really stands up. Someone in the comments pointed out Night of the Comet, which is a cracking film, actually, if
Oh,
you
I've
haven't
not
seen that.
seen
I've not
that.
seen it.
Really, really good. But out of the recent batch, I think my favourite, I say recent, I think it's 2013, was Under the Skin, the Jonathan Glazer film, where Scarlett Johansson drives around Glasgow in a van in a fur coat, picking up lonely men and doing terrible, terrible things to them. She's an alien.
Oh, wow. I've not
And
heard of
and
that.
and there's a, what's your policy on swearing, Shelley?
Go for it, as long as it's not too offensive.
Okay. Well, it's just there's a scene with some black goo and a male erection that will haunt
Oh,
you for the rest of your life. Let's just say that. Yeah,
that's what I'll
yeah,
be watching later then.
yeah, yeah. Under the Skin,
I knew it.
Jonathan Glazer. Yeah,
Oh, I love that. I've not heard of that one.
it's a good one. Very good, very good.
Oh, dear.
Because Mark brought up Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is another favorite. It's a great one, Mark. I can't see you, but I'm imagining all the sci-fi stuff around you. I also had to shout out Attack the Block if we are considering stuff on Earth
Oh,
as like
Attack the
part of
Block.
sci-fi
Oh,
horror
Yes,
because like fantastic.
that's so good.
that is
Oh, I love
brilliant.
that. I'll just check some of the comments then. So I saw Matthew said we should do arachnophobia for a movie chat, so we'll have to do that. Um,
Yeah, I love spiders.
oh. Matthew said The Thing is one of his favourites. He's happy it got picked for us to chat about. And he bought the Blu-ray of it as well. Oh wow, I bet that's like crystal crystal clear. Sharon said, I went to the cinema to see The Thing when it came out and had to lie about my age. I
Ah,
love that.
go Sharon.
Melina said it was a first time watch for her as well. Let us know, Melina, what did you think for a first time watch? Larissa said it's such a great film. Sharon's got it on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. Wow, Sharon,
Old school,
brilliant.
old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that.
You
Matthew
know,
said
I've
it's the
got it in HD, Shelley, and one of my daughters, my middle one, came down to watch it, and she went, "Oh, what's this new movie?" Ah! And I
Oh,
went, "Oh, it's
wow.
not. It's 80s." And she said, "But
Oh,
it's not grainy, Mum." And I said,
oh.
"No, it's
See,
crystal clear."
yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, it's nice to have like, the upgraded versions and the crystal clear picture, but you just can't beat that grainy effect, I think sometimes. You just gotta have
That's
it.
what she said.
Matthew said it's refreshing to see handmade practical effects as opposed to CGI. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Narissa said, for years I thought I must have, mate, I think she means I've seen it because Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, the perfect
Mm.
combo. But Narissa said she didn't actually see it till 2018 and absolutely engrossed and adored it. Yeah, it was Matthew who said Night of the Comets. Yeah.
Mm. Great film.
Narissa said Sunshine. That's a good
Mm.
film. Yeah, I love that. Would make a great double bill with this one. Yeah, definitely. Pandoran, Dawn said. Matthew said Event Horizon. Oh, yeah, so many good ones. And then I just saw Matthew said, is the one with the erection about the werewolf, Sheriff Mark?
No, but now I want to
Oh.
watch that. So
Yeah.
thing is, you can't really Google that, can you? Erection
No.
werewolf sheriff. Not
Can
without.
you imagine? Oh dear. Oh, Sharon said.
Sorry to
Sharon,
have lowered the tone, everyone. I'm so sorry.
at least
It's
it's not
okay.
me for
Shelley
a
does that
change,
all the
Mark.
time.
Yeah, exactly. It's normally me. Sharon said, I really love Mars Attacks. Oh, yeah, so
Yeah,
good.
Mars Attacks. That's
Very
hilarious.
Yeah.
good.
And Dawn says The Abyss as well. That was fun.
Mm.
So John Carpenter was adamant, apparently, when he was making this, to create a monster movie where the creature wasn't obviously played by a man in a suit. And it's something that bothered him, apparently, when he watched Alien. He was like, that's a man in a suit. I was like, oh.
Oh.
So I can't say I've noticed that, but obviously with a different eye, maybe. But so do you think John Carpenter did a good job of creating this kind of unknown entity that you can be quite fearful about whilst you're watching, Ali?
Yeah, I think so. As specifically when there's the scene where I think it's the doc and he's doing the autopsy. It's after the entity has like tried to take over the dogs, and the
Oh,
doc is doing the autopsy and he's cutting it open and he's like, "Oh, that's like what are all these like parts? That's not bone. This is the
yeah.
dog. This is the like all these weird things. Like that part freaked me out a lot more
Mm.
this time around. I don't know why." But yeah, I think he did a fantastic job. I mean, obviously, like I think there's one scene where like the creature like goes like a little bit wild and is like, going all the way toward the ceiling. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
computer animation of it like looks a little like fake in that way that like it's of the time. I don't
Mm.
think it holds up to today, but all the practical effects, all of them, I think still hold up pretty strong today.
Mm.
And I think it's still just as terrifying, more terrifying probably than CGI, because CGI, it's as we have advances in technology, the stuff that we were watching a long time ago, with the exception of Jurassic Park, the other stuff just looks fake at this point, and
Yeah.
you don't really
Yeah.
have that problem with when you're doing practical effects. So I think they
Mm.
did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Can I just say a word in
Yeah.
defense of CGI? We only know
No.
it's bad CGI. Okay?
Yes, we
There
do.
is
Yeah.
there is some
Mm.
very, very good CG out there that you just don't notice. So if you watch a movie like Sinners that came out early, which is my movie
Oh,
of the year
see,
this
I've
year,
not seen that yet.
tons of CG in that you
Oh.
never notice. So
I
Oh,
good.
interesting.
I hear you, Mark, and I'm not trying to come down on CGI too much. It's just I think about stuff like I think it's 2000, is it 2004 Curse with Christina Ricci, the werewolf movie.
Oh
And
yeah.
when I look at like the creature that we could have had from, I think it's Rick Baker, and I see like the actual like creature werewolf versus the CGI. Like I think it's when they get lazy with it
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
and they're trying to
absolutely.
like rush it through. So I agree with you. There is some good CGI that you just don't
Mm.
notice,
And
but
it's
unfortunately,
it's
go ahead,
usually
sorry.
because I got friends who work in the industry, and that sort of thing happens when they're not given enough money, when they're not given enough
Mm.
time, and when
Mm.
there's little the chain of communication between the artist and the director, there's all sorts of people in between them. So
Yeah.
when there's a clear line between the two, it works really well. And the reason why Jurassic Park still holds up so well is that they spent so much time on it, getting it right
Mm.
in a way that is rarely done now. And also they use every trick in the book. It's not just CG, it's puppets, it's motion,
Yep.
it does also, they had Phil
Yeah.
Tippett designing, who was going to do them as motion control kind of things, but then he was the one who oversaw the movement. So it's, we had this with when we did Unwelcome, film I wrote a couple of years ago. We've got these
Yeah.
little kind of goblins in them, and we use, small people in those with big sets, but we also, there's CG in there, there's all kinds of stuff. Again, it's that thing of you use every tool in the box to make it look real, because if you use
Mm.
the same trick twice, and as Ali said, some of the practical stuff is amazing, but it doesn't always hold up as well as you'd want it to.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think even the artists then were going, if we had CG, we could remove those wires. We could do other things with
Mm.
it. So it's yeah, it's using every trick you can possibly get your
Yeah.
hands on to make it look real.
Yeah, and so to make it look, yeah, to look good and authentic as well, definitely. Yeah, I do like a mixture of practical. I like practical effects, but a mixture of practical and CGI together. If it's done well, then yeah, chef's kiss on that. I love that. How about you, Emma? Did you think that I forgot what my question was now because we were talking about something else. So did it make you fearful enough, like the way that John Carpenter hid the thing from us, created it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you can't, it's not something that you can touch or get hold of. You can't sort of, and they're killing it with fire, but they don't know if they're really killing it or not. They don't know where it
Yeah.
is, who it's inside, what's going on. It's terrifying to think I can't control this whatsoever. I have no control here, and they're all trying to get control over it, which is making
Mm.
them fight with each other. And yeah, it's the most. And I always say the best monsters are ones you can't really see. I mean, I know we can
Mm.
see the monster because it's bursting out of everybody, but we can't see where it's going or what it's doing or where it's going to be next, and
Yeah.
that's the scary part. You don't know, you're looking a bit, where is it, is it you?
Mm.
So I think that's the frightening part of it, absolutely, the unknown, not knowing where it is or what you can do
Yeah.
to protect yourself.
Yeah, because you just feel helpless, especially in the setting as well, with it being so,
Yeah.
isolated. And I read a thing that said, read a thing, my pun. I read a thing that says the thing never speaks or gives a motive for its actions, and it just ruthlessly, pursues its goal. And that I
Yeah.
just think is just like, if you think about it, it's just terrifying. I would die
Yeah.
first in a horror movie. We all know this anyway. How about you, Mark? Do you think the way he created the presence of the thing and the build up to that, was that scary for you? Did he do a good job of that?
It's brilliant. I think because it's never the same thing twice. It's sort of this dog-shaped thing later, and then it
Mm.
inhabits people, and then you see things, the flower-like thing bursting out.
Yeah.
The
And in the end, it
Demogorgon.
is, yeah, kind of,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's never the same thing twice, and it's more of it represents paranoia,
Mm.
which gets under everyone's skin and has everyone turning on each other. So I think
Mm.
that's what works so well about it. And as Emma was saying, you can't reason with it. You can't.
Mm.
It doesn't have any purpose other than to survive and become other things. And when you see it at the end, and it's bursting into all these different shapes, it's sort of mimicking every creature it's ever encountered on its
Yeah.
travels. So it's yeah, it's genuinely still very unnerving, really, really unnerving.
Definitely. A clever little thing, we're saying. That's what I'm here. I'm here all evening with my little thing puns. So obviously I mentioned the setting. So obviously to give the illusion of the icy Antarctic conditions, a lot of the interior sets were in Los Angeles on sound stages, and they were refrigerated down to like 40 degrees Fahrenheit apparently, which like that's got to be
Oh,
cold.
Mm.
And it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside apparently. So I thought that was pretty cool. But what did you think of like the isolated setting? Could you imagine it working in a different type of setting other than that, Emma?
well, it's like a locked room horror, isn't it? It's like you can't really
Mm,
get away, especially, Antarctica. It's very isolated, just at the bottom of New Zealand, and there's really no way on and off of that place unless you're going to take flight. One helicopter's been blown up, you can't get
yeah.
out in the snow. If it's snowing too much, you can't go up in it. So there's really
Mm,
nowhere to go. And I love the fact that you don't get a lot in the snow in that kind of remoteness. So
mm,
because humans don't really inhabit that, so it's too harsh. So them being on a base, and that rang very true that could actually happen there. Plus the cabin fever, obviously, of it. The
mm,
lighting, the blue lighting that they did was quite creepy. And then when they were inside, they swapped it kind of to a red, and I thought that was really atmospheric. It was
yeah.
very much like the scene was a character, like the place was a character also. So yeah, I really liked it. I heard they shot it in
Mm.
Canada and Alaska though, not in Antarctica. Because I was like,
Oh.
I haven't seen a penguin. Where, Ollie there?
Emma was there
Why
for
have you
the
turned into
penguin.
a penguin?
Can you imagine?
So,
They were
There
just
is there is a famous there is a famous mock-up of Pingu plus versus the Thing. Have you seen that?
no.
If you look up Pingu and the Thing, there is a penguin that Emma, you'll be very happy. Just look it up
oh,
later.
that's brilliant. I will look that up,
Might
Mark.
scar us for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Ali? Do you like the setting, the kind of remoteness of it, and could you imagine it being set in the summertime or anything like that?
No, I couldn't imagine it being set in the summertime. It's there's something extra scary about winter horror,
Yeah.
because of the isolation, and as Emma just mentioned, the cabin fever of it all. Like I don't know, with like slashers or like other films that tend to be like set in like summer settings, you can escape just by running away. And it's like in this particular setting, there is really nowhere to go, because even if you try to run away, you're going to get hypothermia, you're going to freeze to death, you're going to get like
Mm,
Yeah.
blinded by a snow squall. Like who knows what the situation is going to be. So I think that this works particularly well because you can't go anywhere else but on this base. And that's very
mm,
unfortunate for the characters. So yeah, no, this is I think perfect setting for um this type of story. And
mm.
also, we were talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers too. And even if you could run away, when the doctor was doing he was running the numbers for like how quickly, and I think it was like a 3-year period, and the whole world would be, taken over by this
Yeah.
creature or defeated by this creature. So it's like, even if they get off that base, they know that they can't get off the base because it's going to spread. So there really is like physically, mentally, like nowhere for them to go.
Mm, yeah. Oh, scary. How about you? How about you, Mark? Do you like that kind of setting?
Well, particularly when you're writing horror, you are always looking for ways to isolate your characters because you don't want them getting on the phone and just calling for help. So, and of course, the mobile phone has ruined drama.
Yeah.
And especially now you get a signal wave, so you're always thinking, oh, what's my excuse for not having a phone signal this time? So putting them at the South Pole and having the radios out, you're like, excellent,
Mm.
excellent. They really are on their own here. So yeah, my only question is, what sort of research station needs flamethrowers?
I reckon, I reckon Kurt Russell just brought them along and he was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
probably. Yeah.
we got to use
Hmm.
these. We'll
What
fit you in
what would you need
somehow.
them for? Melting ice, you know? You wanted to do it
Lighting
quickly.
candles. Yes.
Yeah.
I could totally see Kurt Russell bringing the flamethrowers, mostly because he had a bomber jacket in Antarctica. Like I was like, this is not appropriate wear, so I could totally see him bringing the flamethrowers too.
Oh, I love that. Apparently, his beard, it took him about a year to grow like that really bushy beard and hairstyle, which I think like suits him. He looked rather dashing, I thought. So what did you think of his performance in this film, Mark?
I thought it was great. I think apparently he had some sort of backstory that his character had been in Vietnam and done something terrible and gone to the South Pole to sort of get away from it all. But he's doing that. That's the Kurt Russell era where he's trying to be a bit like Clint Eastwood, Escape to New York, that whole period as well. But there's one little moment where he's recording. He's saying, look. I think he's already decided they're not getting out of there alive. He's recording a kind of testimony, and he says, I've written the quote down. He says, nobody trusts anybody, and we're all very tired. And I thought that really sums up 2025.
Yeah, he
It
does.
does.
I thought the same when he said it. I was like, yeah, that's how I feel.
little moment of vulnerability there, which I really, really liked. So I love the guy. And of course, now he's playing Santa Claus in Christmas movies and things. So he's gone super cuddly since then.
No
So,
flamethrowers there. Oh, dear.
sadly not. Sadly not. Yeah.
I bet he tried to get one in there. He was like, this film would be better with a flamethrower.
All films would be better with a flamethrower. I've been John and I we write together. We've been trying to every film we've written so far, we've had a scene where someone gets burned alive, much like the scene in this, and it always gets because it's so difficult to do, and it always gets written out. We're always very disappointed. One day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, one day. It's gonna happen one day. Oh, how about you, Ali? Did you like Russell's performance in this?
Yes, I liked it just fine. It's not my favorite Kurt Russell performance. I mostly because like I've seen a lot of interviews with him and I've, watched some of his like rom-com or the cuddly movies as Mark said.
Oh, yeah.
But like I've seen him in other and he's just so charismatic and like high on life and excited about life. I think I heard an interview recently where he was like talking about how he just couldn't believe that he got to marry or not they're not married but like be with Goldie Hawn for as long as he's been with her. And then there's always that that clip that always comes back to me where he's with Wyatt and Wyatt's like, oh, I don't watch my own movies, and Kurt Russell's like, oh, I do. I was like, there's Overboard. And so he's just such a delightful and fun person. So I think for me it's like, oh, like this is not the Kurt Russell that I'm used to, but I think his performance was perfectly great.
Yeah, it was very understated performance, wasn't it? Because obviously growing up, like in the 90s as a teen and that, obviously I'm used to like the rom-coms and seeing him, so this was very different. I was like, oh, this is very understated.
Right.
Oh, how about you, Emma? Did you like his performance in this?
Yeah, no, I thought he was good. I thought he was believable, a believable character. Yeah, not as Ali was saying, like charismatic and out there as he usually is. But I thought he was a believable character. Has he worn that beard for anything else? I'm just trying to. I can't think that he has had a beard on for anything. I don't think I've seen him with a beard in anything else. But I think that
Santa.
Santa. Very different beard. But yeah. I thought it did suit him, and it suited the character. I'm glad he grew a beard for it. I think it worked.
Yeah, I was just like, it's the eyes. It was his eyes, just piercing blue, amongst all the bushiness, and just especially when he's doing like that monologue. When he's kind of like, he's at the point where they've kind of shut him out, haven't they? And then he does that kind of little monologue, like. And when he does that, and it's just focused on him, and them eyes are just like piercing through the
Possibly.
screen. Yeah, I loved it. I saw Matthew said the film that he mentioned that me and Mark and probably all of us are now interested in. You can Google it. It's a low budget cult film that streams free on Tubi in the US, or Tubi, one of them. So you'll have to have a look.
Yeah.
Sharon said it's the isolation and paranoia in the thing that's is perfect in the film. The thing is the cherry on top. There's too many things going on. Larissa said the production of The Cursed was insane. When we were talking about The Cursed earlier. The film, Matthew said the film with the Wolfman sheriff is Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop.
2014.
That's a Ron Seal title, isn't it?
Bizarre.
It was a 2014 indie horror film. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to look that up after. Elena said, yes, the lack of control and descent into paranoia was really powerful. Larissa said the tension in the thing is fantastic. They're isolated. They can't trust who might be the thing, and because their work colleagues might not even know each other that well or associate with each other if they weren't colleagues. Yeah, that's true, because they're just colleagues that have been thrown together. So that brings me on to, obviously, it's like it's an all-male cast. And my good friend John, Wonderboy76, he said I could quote him on this, that he calls it a sausage fest, which made me laugh. I howled, and he said, please quote me on that. So I've done that, and I was laughing. But he did also state as well that it's like an exploration of masculinity in a confined space, and a great study of how that can fall apart, basically. So what were your thoughts on it being an all-male cast? Did you want, a female in there as well, maybe, Ali?
I don't think I wanted or needed a woman to be in that space, because I'm mostly just thinking about the woman's safety in such a situation like that. But I think in this particular movie, it works because you do have, like, even though some of them are scientists, some of them give off, like some of those macho vibes. And so I think when you've got like too much of that in one like concentrated place and like nowhere for it to go, that is like a recipe for disaster in and of itself. And then you add in like this alien or this like parasite aspect to it, and it just like quickly, like that's why everything like spirals out of control so quickly. Because like even when they're fighting over like who should be in charge, and Child steps up and he's like, oh well, man, they're like, no, we want someone a little more even tempered. And I'm like, no one in this room is even tempered. Like the doctor's shooting at people, like everybody's lost it. So yeah, I think for this particular movie it works. While it would be nice to see like a woman in the film, I'm just thinking about a woman's safety in that situation. I don't need one in that movie. So
yeah, I agree with that, definitely. How about you, Emma? Did you like that it was an all-male cast? Did you notice that? Did it stand out to you?
I didn't notice it so much because we grew up with mostly all-male cast, so there was always a token woman thrown in here and there. So it was just normal to me. But I think, like Ali, I think it absolutely works the way it is. I didn't necessarily need to see a female or myself in the movie to understand what the men were going through. I completely understood it. As a mother, you sometimes feel like that when you're trying to wrangle your children. So,
so
you get having food up real quick. So, I thought it was fine, but I did look up to see how many female only kind of cast there were, because I thought, I wonder if there's anything, that might be. And I did find out, and I might watch these actually. There's one called After Blue or Paradise Soul. It had in brackets 2021, which is a psychedelic sci-fi about it's an all-female cast, because the planet they are on has like flora and fauna that kills men. So there's no men. So there was that one, and then there was one called Lady World in 2018 about teen girls trapped in a house after an earthquake, and then their insanity, their sanity unravels and they start turning on each other, and that's all female. So I thought, I had no idea that there were, you know, 'cause you don't look for it, do you? So I didn't know that there were all, because there's always like one woman or one man somewhere in a film. There's always, you know, a
Yeah.
variety. But there's a lot of the time there can be very like Predator male dominated. I really like Prey because it was a breath of fresh air in the Predator franchise. It was really well done. But yeah, yeah, I don't think it needed any women in the film. I think that everybody can relate to exactly what they're going through. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think it worked
definitely.
very well.
Oh, I'm going to look up them recommendations. Well, then those films as well
I
and
haven't seen them.
see what they're all
They might
about.
be
Yeah,
rubbish.
I didn't realise when you said, yeah, I'm going to look them up, see what they're like. How about you, Mark? Did you notice that it was an all-male cast, or was that okay?
Well, you're all overlooking Adrienne Barbeau, who plays the voice of the chess computer at the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
So, you know,
yeah. We didn't
talk
think
about too much
about
tokenism.
that.
Yeah.
and that's what it'll be in the future. Only robot women, no real ones.
And immediately
That'll be us represented.
she gets called a very misogynistic name by Kurt Russell's character. But yeah, I think I heard John Carpenter talk about this, and he said because the original the film Thing from Another World did have a female character in it, and so does the prequel, the 2011 Thing sort of prequel, sidequel, whatever it is. But he said he thought it would be fun to make it all men, and I think exactly to have that kind of chest puffing kind of toxic masculinity kind of environment. And I think also it might have been done to avoid any comparisons with Alien, because Alien, you've got Sigourney Weaver and forgive me, I've forgotten the name of the other woman in it. But of course, Sigourney Weaver is the only sensible person in the film.
Yeah.
She's the one who she insists on following all the protocols, and if they'd listened to her, they'd all be alive. So I think if there had been a woman in it and they'd listened to her, it would have been a very short film. So, I think it kind of works because, as Ali said, you know, you've got all that male aggression in one place, and it is just a tinderbox waiting to go off. So that is part of the fun of it, I think.
Yeah, I can't say
Yeah.
like until John had put a note on my post of the day. I was like, oh, it hadn't jumped out to me that it was like an all-male cast. I'll be honest, I just took it for what it was.
You said that was Wonder Boy. So was that John Weir?
Yeah, he said he knows you.
Work
He
with
knew
John.
you. Yeah.
John and I once drove back from EasterCon in Chester singing Disney show tunes all the way. There's very memorable experiences. Really
Well,
good.
I'm just sad that we've got no video evidence.
Yeah, we need it.
We need that. Oh, but yeah, I didn't really notice it until John said it, and I was like, oh yeah. But I think just because of all the different personalities that were there, and as you say, you know, striving to be the leader or striving to prove that they're not the thing, it just, it kind of went into like a whodunit kind of thing, and I was like, oh, okay. Because obviously realised I hadn't seen it before, so I was like well into like, who is it? So obviously the group, as we mentioned, is overcome by paranoia and conflict, and they learn that they can't trust each other, and any one of them could be the thing. Did you like the element of not knowing who it was? I know this is hard because you'd already all seen it, but do you remember if it kept you guessing back when you first saw it, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it's like a whodunit. John Carpenter spoke of the influence of the Agatha Christie, and then there were none. You know, the
my
idea
favourite
that
Agatha Christie.
they're all getting bumped off one by, which has been a huge influence on horror ever since it first came out. So yeah, and I forget as well, having seen this film so many times, I'm sitting there going, oh, what happens to Windows? Well, is it him or is it? So I always forget. So it's always a nice surprise to sort of come back to it. But yeah, definitely always keeps you on the look.
That's good. How about you, Ali? Because you said you watch it like mostly every year in January. So do you remember when you first watched it with that whodunit kind of element, thinking, oh, who is it? Who's going to be the thing?
I still watch it with that in mind. Like, who is, like, because, you know, not to spoil anything, I hope that everyone on this call, like, who's watching, has seen it.
You can spoil.
But you know, at the end, where we don't really know who's who, like, even this time, this watch around, I was like, was it McCready? Was it Childs? Like at the end when Childs says, well, you don't have to worry about me. Is he saying that like, oh, is like, are we both like, I don't actually know. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about that movie is
Mm,
that you can watch it in any whodunit really. Like you can watch it so many times and pick up something new every single time
yeah.
and it makes you wonder or second guess. And I remember the first time I watched it, like, yeah, I was like, it kind of had the feel of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington.
Oh no, I've not seen that.
I think I've
It's a
seen that.
fantastic fantastic paranormal demon horror movie where like this
Oh,
demon
Yes.
jumps from body to body just by touching people. And so I very much had that same feeling when I was watching whenever I watched the thing and I'm trying to like guess who it is because like it's frustrating because like still to this day I don't know which one if one of them was it, you know. And even in the beginning like when we
mm,
watched it this time I was like, okay, who's the first person outside when the dog runs up? Childs is outside when the dog runs up.
yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, was that like a thing? I don't know. I don't know. It's still, I love the
Mm,
guessing game of it, I guess.
yeah. And that's got to be a credit to like John Carpenter and the team for like
Hmm.
you can rewatch it and still suspect people even though it's not them. That's amazing. I love that. How about you, Emma? Did you remember if you guessed it the first time round, or did you not remember who it was and you had a nice surprise?
I don't remember. I didn't remember who it was, any of them, which order it went in. I had no idea when I rewatched it. I could not remember that from way back
Mm,
when in the 90s when I watched it. So yeah, I was like, oh, is it him? Oh, he's weird. Is it him? I was like, oh, he looks a bit
yeah.
like, he's suffering a bit. But no, because you can't tell because of the cabin fever thing. You can't tell
Mm,
which one might be infected. The blood thing was brilliant for me. I loved that scene because they're all just sitting there waiting to find out their own
mm,
death sentence or their buddies or and it's just fantastic, just waiting
mm.
there watching him. And then you see the other two guys are up next to him while he's got his flamethrower, like it ain't us. I was just like, great, they're all happy standing there. Now we're going to see if it's you. So
Yeah,
yeah, I thought that
yeah.
was brilliant.
And I can't claim credit for this because I did read this earlier when I was like thinking of questions, but I read that there was parallels to obviously at the time the HIV crisis that was going
Oh,
on, and the way they do like the blood testing and then you're waiting to see like if it's positive and things like that, whether it was a bit of a nod to like that kind of thing that was going on
Paranoia.
socially, yeah, at the
yeah.
time, yeah, definitely. So I
There
thought
was a
that was
lot of
quite
paranoia about that.
interesting. Yeah, definitely. So obviously we mentioned about the special effects as well, and it's considered like a benchmark in special effects. And apparently it had a 15 million budget for the whole film, and 1.5 million was spent on the creature effects, a mixture of chemicals, food products, rubber, mechanical parts, basically a bit of everything. Flamethrowers, the lot. So obviously there was some really gruesome, jaw-dropping special effects, and we've mentioned a few. Well, which one was your favourite in the film that really got you, Mark?
Oh well, it has to be the clear that bit. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that
got
got me. I was like,
that
oh.
that whole sequence is just a masterclass. And little
Yeah.
things like they use an amputee. Again, I watched Rob Bottin talking about this, and it's quite naughty because obviously he's an amputee, and he said it's a
Mm.
guy who had an industrial accident, and he says it with glee. It's like, Rob,
Oh.
Oh gosh.
calm
Calm
down, mate.
down, Rob.
But he's talking about how they did that, and John Carpenter talking about how when he saw that whole sequence, he was like, "We've got a movie. We've got a
Oh,
movie."
wow.
So, because one of the reasons he wanted, because the original thing from Another World was a guy in a suit who looked like
Mm.
Frankenstein's monster, and he wanted to avoid that, and he wanted it to look unearthly and truly kind of mind-bending. And when he saw that sequence, he was like, "Ah, I can sleep at night now. We've got the film kind of thing." So
Yeah. Oh,
that
wow.
whole sequence for me is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. That did get me, that did. How about you, Ali? Have you got a favourite special effects moment?
I don't know if it's a favorite because it's really hard for me to look at because it is so gross. But like the autopsy scene, that it
Mm,
just gives me the heebie-jeebies every time I gag a little bit, but I can't stop looking at it. So
yeah.
there's like liquid spilling out, and it's just like, yeah.
Oh, it's just gross, isn't it? Oh, it's gross. Oh. How about you, Emma?
I'm going to tell you the scene that I really chuckled at, which is not supposed to be funny. So I can't remember the character's name, but his head comes off like that, and then
Oh,
and then
yeah,
his
it's just
head's on the floor, and it
plasticine.
burns legs, and
Yep.
it just goes. Oh, it was the best thing ever. It was so cool. I laughed so much. Like it's like the spider, his head, his spider legs. Oh, brilliant. Just
Oh,
fantastic. So I love
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Funny,
great for me.
funny enough, Milena, who's in the chat, she messaged me after she watched it because it was a first time watch for her, and she says, "The spider head."
That
I
adds
was like,
into my
"Oh
memory.
no!" Oh dear. I think for me, I mean, they were all the ones you've mentioned are pretty good. But the thing with the dog at the beginning, when
Oh, the
obviously starts
dog. Oh.
escalating. Oh dear, that I was like, I literally was like, oh, I need
Mhm.
to carry on looking, but I just like, I'm not sure. I want to see. But that whole thing, and
Yeah.
then obviously the autopsy after. Oh dear. But
Au-
yeah,
Poor
just
doggies.
brilliant.
Autopsies,
Mm.
no masks. No one's wearing masks.
No.
Autopsies, you know, that,
Stick your hand in.
the bit with the dog was done by Stan Winston, who didn't take a credit, but it's because Rob Bottin was just working every hour, and he ended up
Mm.
in hospital. He had a bit of a breakdown.
Oh,
Oh,
He was
wow.
because he was 22,
no.
and he was just yeah, it just nearly wiped him out. So they
Oh,
got in Stan
wow.
Winston to do the dog thing, but yeah,
Oh, I mean, they did the whole team, but they just did such a good job
yeah.
of it
Yeah,
all.
they
It
did.
was like you said, Ali. Like you don't you want to look away, but you just can't for some reason because you're that like horrified and what's going on.
Well, you just want to see how gross it gets.
Yeah.
Like you're
Oh,
testing your
Yeah.
own tolerance almost.
yeah. Definitely. And I'm like, body horror for me, like I really struggle with. Like,
Me too.
I really want to watch The Substance, the new film, but I just can't do it because
So good,
I know I've heard it's
so good.
so good, and I
Yeah.
go to put it on, and I'm like, because I don't know what it is. I just can't deal with body horror, and I do blame my nan for that, for letting me watch The Fly when I was like probably about 6 years old, and that's what like scarred me for life on body horror because that's just horrific.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
See,
what
I can do it if it's
Yeah,
supernatural. If it's supernatural, it's fine for me. But if
yeah.
it's
I
real
just don't know.
torture, I can't do
Yeah.
torture. Like if someone's actually
Oh,
torturing people and it's not supernatural, I can't do that body horror
yeah.
at all. I'm like,
Oh.
no, no,
And
no.
and
Move on.
if it's like surgical, if there's like a surgical element to it, where
Mm.
Yeah.
okay, I don't like thinking about this movie. I've only seen it once and I refuse to watch it ever again. But the movie Tusk comes to mind where he was like
Oh.
basically turning him into a walrus. And I'm like, this is awful to watch. Like, I don't know, there's just something
Ugh.
terrible about like
Yeah.
watching somebody force somebody else to undergo medical procedures. So that's the
Yeah.
body horror element that like really. So I think The
Mm.
Substance, Shelley, it is gross, but it is also
Yeah.
great. But it's also like keep in mind that like she's choosing to put herself through this, for her
Yeah.
career. So
Okay. I'm just
I've
gonna
not
bite the
watched
bullet
it.
and do it, I think. Yeah, definitely.
brilliant.
I
It's really
think
good.
the most grossest body horror film that I've seen is probably The Human Centipede. I'll be quite honest with
Oh
you. And
yeah.
I didn't watch that by choice either.
Mm-mm-mm.
That was my
yeah.
sister. She was like, "Let's put
That's
this
not for me.
film on," and then she laughed all the way through it, like literally start to end. Like all I could hear was her going all the way through, and I'm going,
And you're like,
what is this
ah!
film?" I think I went to bed afterwards, and I was like, I don't know what's just happened. I'm like, I'm disgusted. I'm confused. Like, never again is my sister picking a horror film for us to watch. That's it. Done. Oh dear. Dawn, saw Dawn mentioned that she loved the tension in The Thing, with distrusting everyone, the same feeling that engulfs Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah, definitely. And Nerissa said in the commentary they talk about how sweet and good the dog was. Sounded like a very good
Oh,
boy. Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
very
bless.
good.
Matthew said, I feel like we've inhabited it. We've had 4 snowstorms here in Virginia in the last week. Watch
Wow.
out, Matthew.
No way.
Don't get too far from your flamethrower. Keep that
Yeah.
close at hand.
Well, Matthew also said if you're going to drink scotch straight from the bottle, you need to have a flamethrower.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Larissa said the whole cast was fantastic. Sharon said, I bet Kurt had the flamethrower as part of his contract. Yeah.
Yeah. And he took it
Dawn,
home too.
it's like, hey, Goldie, see my flamethrower.
I like the fire for you.
Dawn said, the quote, nobody trusts anybody and we're all really tired is the most 2020 to 2025 quote ever. So true.
Yes.
Matthew said, I love the Santa Chronicle films with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. Oh, Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China, Matthew said,
My
is
favourite.
another role where he kills it. Oh, I love that one. And Matthew also said, hooray for Sausage Fest, so I've obviously got very behind. I'll just scroll down a bit. Matthew
Brilliant.
said one singular sci-fi film everybody should check out is Vegas in Space. The entire
I've
cast
never heard
of
of
drag
that.
queens on hallucinogens, not to be missed.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
That's great.
Just scrolling down. Mark's just looked that up.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
Googled it. The poster sold. Sold on the poster alone.
Larissa said definitely the blood test scene is so tense the first time you see it. And she also said, love it when the guy yells, I ain't going with windows. Yeah. The Fallen is absolutely spectacular, Dawn said. And the twist in The Fallen is one of the greatest, Dawn said as well. I've not seen that. Oh, and Matthew said, if you can watch this, you can watch The Substance. So, okay. All right, then. I'm going. Yeah, and it's Tusk. I didn't get through that. I have to admit, I did turn that off.
Good for you. I wish I had.
Honestly, I just couldn't. So I realised that we're up to the hour. I've just got a couple more questions I just want to ask. But obviously, upon release of The Thing, it wasn't box office bomb, which really surprised me. So apparently, critics panned its gory effects, the tone, the characters, with one critic saying it's too phony looking to be disgusting and it qualifies only as instant junk. Harsh.
Oh.
But obviously when it did open, it was competing against E.T., which came out around the same time. And obviously that's family friendly, and offered a different view of alien visitation. But obviously it's in recent times it's become a cult classic. So do you feel the comments are justified, and why do you think it didn't hit the ground running at the time when it was released, Mark?
1982 is one of the greatest years for movies ever. And I say that because I was the right age for a lot of these movies. But we had E.T., which came out just weeks before this. It came out the same day, I think, as Blade Runner.
Oh,
yeah. Can you imagine those two movies coming? So you also had Tron, Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, First Blood, Mad Max 2, Conan the Barbarian,
wow.
48 Hours. I'm reading a list, I'm not remembering. Tootsie, Gandhi, Poltergeist. All of these films came out the same year.
They're all brilliant.
All brilliant. And I just think this was way ahead of its time in terms of, the theme of paranoia in it as well. And this was at a time of recession, as Reaganomics was, and in England, we were on Thatcher, we're about to go to war with Argentina. We wanted a cute little spud alien that says ouch. You know, that's the kind of thing we wanted at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't want things that were bursting us from the inside and doing terrible things to our dogs. So I think the world just wasn't ready for it. And it's interesting, the next time Carpenter did Aliens, he did Starman, which was a kind of an ET kind of
Yeah.
take on it. So, but this is the one that stood the test of time. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what a brilliant year. Just saw Dawn said, what a spectacular movie year. I mean, those were the days, right, where you could have all them films and you just got so much choice to go to. Brilliant. What do you think, Emma? Why do you think it didn't do as well when it on first release, but then it's become a cult classic now?
Well, yeah, I think Mark's probably right about the atmosphere within society having an effect on whether or not people enjoy something, and that's how things come back round and do well later on. You know, when attitudes change, when things change in the world, I think that does have a part to play. I'm not sure why it wouldn't have done well, to be honest, especially amongst horror fans. I think it's very slow. I'm trying to think of other things to compare, like with the body horror, like obviously A Nightmare on Elm Street is something you can compare with it. That's kind of high octane, kind of rush, where this one is very slow and thoughtful. When, you know, you've got to be really present, I think, when you're watching it. You can't just sit there shoving popcorn in your face, chatting to your mate. That might be why it didn't do so well in cinema. But E.T., actually, I showed my youngest E.T., and she was absolutely terrified of him and his glowing finger, and told me never to put that on again. And she's never watched it since. She was about 10, and she hated it. She thought he was the most frightening thing ever. So, yeah, and I wasn't allowed to even have the movie in the DVD case on show because she was that frightened of him. So that little spud did the opposite for her, and she watches all the horror movies now. So, so I'm not sure, but yeah.
She's not alone, Emma. A friend of mine, Hannah Bleckman, loathes E.T. With a passion.
Oh, really?
So she's not alone. So.
I will, because she thought she was very odd at the time. Everyone thought she was weird. He's cute. She's like, he's not.
There's a very funny meme going around the internet right now where somebody says, if I saw E.T. today, I just know I would be mean to him. It's because they're afraid of him, and I'm like, yeah. I don't think your daughter's wrong.
Oh dear, I'll have to find that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ali? Why do you think The Thing has become like such a cult classic now?
Having been born in 1987 and not seeing The Thing until my 20s, I don't know what the marketing would have been like, but my background in marketing makes me wonder what the campaign was like, how much it was pushed. Because that, whether people want to acknowledge it or not, you know, the marketing for a movie or for a book can have a big impact on its success. And sometimes it just takes movies and books a little bit longer to find their audience, and it just takes like that one person shouting about it. I also wonder too, because I know that people were very excited, you know, after the first Halloween movie, some for the second, but then people were not on board for that third Halloween film because the plot was so different. Now today, my husband and I, we really love Halloween Season of the Witch. We like anthology horror of that like variety, and I know that that's what they were leaning toward. And so I wonder too if it's like, I can't remember who said, if it was Mark or Emma, but like, people just weren't ready at that time for something like this. So I don't know. My mind immediately goes to marketing, and then also just like people not being ready or prepared for it.
I think that's a really good point, because the poster for The Thing by the late great Drew Struzan, who recently passed away, he saw no marketing materials for the film, just had an idea of what it was about. And the poster, famous, is of a man up in a parka with a bright light sort of bursting out of his face. And Carpenter said, I go to all this effort to make a movie that's not a man in a costume. And what do they put on the poster? So I think we now think of it as a classic, but I think there was a big mismatch between what was on the poster and what you went to see.
Oh,
Yeah, that's so true. I've never thought of
yeah.
that with the poster. Yeah, you just kind of just take it as a given, don't you? To that it's yeah. Ah, interesting. Ah, but also as well, I did read that John Carpenter, he really took it hard that this film was a failure. Like considering, you know,
Oh,
it was a favourite. So he said, "I take every failure hard. The one I took the hardest was The Thing. My career would have been different if that had been a big hit. The movie was hated." Even by science fiction fans, they thought that I had betrayed some kind of trust and the piling on was insane. So even back then in
oh no.
1982, the piling on was insane for him back then. So yeah, it just makes you wonder, like, if it had taken off, like what else we would have got out of John Carpenter. I mean, we've had some brilliant stuff, don't get me wrong, but what could have been as well, I guess.
And if the internet had been around, maybe those quiet voices that really did like it would have been elevated for him and he wouldn't have felt so devastated, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I,
that's true.
Because fans would have
Shelley,
messaged him and said, well, I loved it.
Mm. What was you going to
Shelley,
say, Ali?
you also mentioned some of the reviews for it too, and sometimes not all the time, but sometimes I do think that they give horror to the wrong people. Like they give it to
Mm.
people who don't genuinely love it. And there are a lot of people who unfortunately don't have a ton of respect for the genre. And so when
Mm.
I think about reviews like that, I'm like, why are you being so unnecessarily nasty to what is like,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think that that could have factored into it too. Like if you have like
Mm.
film critics and they don't take horror seriously.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the film myself yet, but I've seen a lot of hate about the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 film. Now, I haven't seen it, but I've seen so much hate, but all from critics. But then people who are like fans of the games or the first film have all said, it's really good, it's brilliant, go see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids went to see it. They came back, says no classic, but they had a good time at the movies.
Yeah.
That's all you
That's
can
all
ask
you
for.
need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So I agree, Ali. I think sometimes that the critics, you're just like, what? Are they watching the same film as the rest of us, really?
Or do they
Mm.
even like that genre,
Yeah,
that you're watching? If you've got like
yeah,
this, uh, if you're coming to it with prejudice already, then you're gonna,
yeah,
dislike it.
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the same with books.
Sharon's, yeah. Sharon said she was 13 in 1982, such a golden year for movies, music, and books too.
Oh,
Narissa says, don't get why it was panned at all. Same thing happened to Night of the Hunter. So badly the
Yes.
director never made another film. Oh
Charles
wow.
Law.
oh,
Charles Law.
And
Yeah,
that's an
yeah,
hurtful.
absolute
yeah.
That's
classic. I've never seen that. I'll
that's
add that to the
Brilliant
awful.
film.
list.
Brilliant film.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dawn said, I think we're seeing spectacular horror now too. The world is hard now and horror is thriving. Yeah, this year for horror,
It's been great.
especially, has been amazing. Definitely. Yeah, Matthew said horror is having a renaissance. Dawn said, is it true the design of E.T.'s face was based on a cat? Oh, was it? Emma's face, she's
What
like,
kind of cat?
Poor Moggy.
she was looking at Rupert then, weren't you?
Yeah,
Like, is that
like,
E.T.?
what a
And
hairless
I
cat,
could kind
like a hairless one.
that's what I was just thinking of. A hair
Oh,
cat, maybe. Like I could kind of a little bit see it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
maybe.
Matthew said, I was paying attention in 1982 to pop culture already and don't remember any marketing for this film. Interesting.
Ah, there you go. You're right, Ali.
Yeah. So just jump into the end just quick because I know we've gone really over, but obviously we quite get a quite ambiguous ending. And apparently Carpenter did film multiple endings, which included like a happier ending. Because I think editor Todd Ramsey said he thought that the original ending was a bit bleak. So what do you think on the ending and like with what's your interpretation of it is what I'm trying to say, Mark?
Oh, I've got a theory.
Oh, I love a
Oh,
theory.
come on, Mark. What is it?
Well, for years people have gone, and look, hats off to Keith David as Childs. That man can do no wrong. He's one of my favourite actors. He's brilliant in this.
So
And it's
good.
like a star making. I think it was one of the first films he'd done, and he's just brilliant in it. So it's him and Kurt Russell at the end. And is it him or is it him or is it? I think it's neither of them. I think they actually beat the beast, but because there's a whole theme of paranoia, the paranoia's got under their skin. That's the thing that's really won. Paranoia wins in the end. And it's what's happening to us now. You see, you know, we have friends who are divided by things I see on social media, opinions, the far right, all this kind of thing. It gets under your skin and it divides people. And neither one of them is kind of, you know, infected, but this thing has come in and borrowed in and split us up. And I think that's what, you know, because imagine the novella was written in the 1930s, so you had all that kind of pre-war paranoia. The Thing from Another World was made in the 50s, so you had all that kind of Reds under the bed kind of paranoia. And I think, you know, that theme of paranoia is seeped into it so much that it's all these guys turning against each other, that even when they defeat the beast, they don't know it. So that's my theory, is they're both clean, but they're kind of, you know, they've just resigned themselves to, well, here we are. This is where and there's no help coming. So let's have some whiskey.
I love that theory. That's so good.
Yeah.
I did see a theory about the breath, because obviously Kurt Russell's breath is like really prominent. And then they're like, well, he must be it or he's not it. So it's been really good to reading the theories. How about you, Emma? Did you like the ambiguous ending? And did you have any
I love an
theories?
ambiguous ending. Yeah, love it. Love an ambiguous ending so that we can try and make it up. That's great. And well, there was a spaceship that crashed. I mean, the spaceship. So did one crash or did many crash? They think they've killed it, but perhaps some more have crashed in other places, and those people think they're the only ones dealing with it. So for me, I think there might be more ships, and they might think, oh, you know what, we've done it, we've defeated it, fantastic. And then it's not happened because it's elsewhere as well.
Maybe that's why they can't get a radio signal at the beginning.
Yeah. I like it. How about you, Ali? Did you like the ending? Any theories?
Like Emma, I love an ambiguous ending. I love it. They make my brain itch in like the best way possible. Every time I watch this, I walk away with a different opinion, and this time was no different. I go back and forth a lot. I think Mark makes an excellent point. I would love for that to be the truth of the matter, is that like they've defeated it and they're both actually good, but they don't realize it. And that would be like a perfect tragic ending in a Mist, that movie, The Mist sort of way, where it's like, but I don't know, like this time watching, Childs was the first person outside when the dog showed up at the station. Also, I noticed that we don't really get an answer for why MacReady's or his long johns or whatever were all like shredded, other than, well, did it ever occur to you that somebody could be trying to frame me? Which is exactly what the person who's it would say. So I don't know. I think I love that about the movie, is that like I will never ever know, you know, unless I go to John Carpenter and ask him directly, and he's got like a solid opinion on it. But I kind of like not knowing too.
Yeah, I kind of like not knowing as well. I was like, oh, okay, we're going there, ambiguous ending. Yeah, I kind of like that. And I love how, like you said earlier, Ali, as well, about how you can watch it. I think we all said it, how we can watch it and just pick up so many different things each time. So I actually can't wait to rewatch it now.
The sad thing is, I think if you wrote that today, you'd have some exec say, no, wrap it all up in a neat bow.
Yep.
You know,
no.
we need an ending that's more satisfying. I think that would sadly be the truth.
So true.
Also, I keep seeing Dawn Kurtagich's name crop up. Hello, Dawn. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, Dawn.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah, Dawn comes and chats with us sometimes, and just Dawn's lovely.
Yeah.
We love Dawn.
Didn't we do the Krampus with Dawn? It was Krampus, wasn't it, last time?
When Dawn said Daddy
Krampus.
And we've never got over it, and we're scarred for life. That was it. I did see Dawn said for E.T. there's a video of the designer drawing over a cat's face for the design of the face.
Was it a hairless cat?
Yeah, was it hairless?
Yeah,
Dawn,
that's what
let
we
us
need to
know.
know.
Sharon said horror should never have a happy ending, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Larissa
I like
said,
those.
oh,
Not.
yeah, I like that. Larissa said only one way it could go. They're done for no matter what. Dawn said, I love her an horrific ending.
Fluffy.
And then Matthew said, me too, or when Rosemary decides to raise the child of Satan. I don't know whether you were talking about something else before that. Melina said, that's such a good theory, Mark. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Dawn said, I genuinely think horror lovers enjoy an ambiguous ending far more than non-horror consumers. Yeah, hard agree on that. Larissa said Carpenter dismissed the breath theory that I mentioned. Always meant to be unknown because it doesn't matter either way. Yeah, that's so true. Dawn said, I love Mark's ending too. And Dawn said, as someone who has written IP, yes. Hello, my darling Mark, as well. Sorry, Mark, go on.
No.
And Dawn's laughing about Daddy Krampus. Yeah, you scarred us for life, Dawn. Scarred us for life. Oh, well, guys, I better let you go because we've gone really over time. But this has been so great. Like, I've really enjoyed chatting about this film. I'm so glad we did it. And
Thanks for having me.
oh, no, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. And do check out these fabulous authors and their Instagram. I'll put some links up and some stories of their books as well. And yeah, have a lovely... This is the last movie chat of the year. And then we'll be back in January. And do send me some horror movie suggestions. I mean, we've got loads from this chat
tonight,
as well. And I'm going to put them like, normally I loosely try and do a film compared to the book we're reading that month, but forget my own rules. I'm going off the rules next year, and I'm just putting all the film suggestions in a pot, and I'm going to pull them out and then we'll chat about them because, yeah, there's just some classics that I know we'll never cover otherwise and really want to talk about them. So, yeah, anyway. So have a lovely Christmas. And, yeah, I'll see you next week for book club if you're around. Thanks for all your fab comments as well.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you all.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Watch out for the thing. Bye.